for joining us today for today's edition of Counter Chat. On with me today, I have our Director of Marketing, Brooks, as well as our Product Manager, Julia. My name is Mike. I am a Customer Marketing Analyst here at Prokeep. We are excited to be with you all today. Going into today's agenda here, we're going to be going through a couple of the latest updates from the Prokeep platform, as well as some best practices and tips. You'll see here we have some new releases with regards to contact management, automated rules, as well as your after hours notification settings. And with regards to those automated rules that I was just talking about, we'll be going over some awesome use cases that'll help tailor your Prokeep experience to your organization and help grow your business. So going in to those platform updates and releases. So with regards to automated rules, some of you on the webinar may be familiar with automated rules. We have a number of new conditions within the automated rules infrastructure that we have added to help you maximize your broadcast text message opt-ins. You can see here the broadcast opt-in status condition, as well as the last broadcast opt-in request conditions are now applicable selections you can make to help you grow your opt-ins as you're looking to leverage more of the broadcast text messaging feature. So very excited that those options are now available. We'll also get more into automated rules later in the presentation as well. So some awesome stuff to look forward to. Some new additions to contact management here within the platform as well. So at a glance, you are now able to add and edit contacts directly from the contacts tab within a company's profile, no longer needing to go into the weeds. You can be on a company profile within your database, click the button that you can see here on the screen to add or edit existing contacts, just streamlining your operations as you are growing your customer base. So very exciting additions there, as well as some additions to your settings menu here. So if there are times in which you are looking to limit the notifications that you or other users in your account are receiving after hours notifications, you are now able to make those selections within the settings menu. As you can see here, there is a line item underneath company settings called after hours message. Simply click there to basically limit or not limit your email notifications that you're receiving during your hours of operation. So exciting stuff there. Julia, please feel free to correct me if I am incorrect on this, but I believe there is also a component wherein we are sending a summary of the activity during that after hours period. So the users will be receiving that visibility if there are any notifications that they missed during that after hours time period. You are sent a summary of that activity. Is that still the case? Awesome. So yeah, love the visibility, love the enhancements here. So a lot of exciting stuff from last session, and I know there's more exciting stuff on the way as well in the world of product releases. So going into the tips and tricks portion of our presentation, I'll be throwing to our marketing director, Brooks, here in just a minute, and we'll be talking about automated rules use cases that'll help you tailor your Prokeep experience to help grow your business. And Brooks, I'll throw to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Excited to be here today to dive into automated rules. So Mike, if you want to, there we go. So, when we think about automated rules, the two major things that are coming out of this are streamlining operations as well as improving your customer experience. As we started to really build this feature, those are the things that we consistently, had in our mind to make it easier and better experience. So today we're going to go over a handful of these rules and the use cases and really some of the problems that they solve. But at a very high level, with the automated rules, the beauty of these is that you really have the ability to create custom messaging within workflows, and as well as certain routing rules. That's everything from auto assigning threads, transferring messages, setting up auto replies. So a lot of really awesome features that will hopefully allow you and your teams to be more productive and your customer experience to be that much better. So, Mike, if you want to go into the next slide, we can drop into really some of the core use cases. And we've kind of broken these down into, really 4 different buckets. The auto closing of threads, routing to users, routing to a group, and then those custom auto replies, right? So when we really kind of dissect each one of these, they really bring a different benefit to you and your customers. So auto closing those threads, the real purpose of this was to keep you and your group's Prokeep as clean and organized as possible. And so those conversations that are at the top of your inbox are always the most relevant and always easy to find and available for you and your staff to jump in there and take care of right away. So we'll go into a little bit more of those details shortly. The next one here is routing to certain users, right? You all probably have some VIP customers out there that only want to talk to Bob at the counter, right? They refuse to talk to anybody else. This one is built for that, right? And so this has the ability to, if a customer does text in, you can create that rule that, if Jimmy always wants to talk to Bob, great, let him. And also have the beauty of Jimmy doesn't answer, it can go to somebody else. So really some great opportunities there to make it a little bit more of a customized experience, maybe for some of your VIP customers, or maybe some that are just a little bit harder to deal with. The next one is routing to a group. So this is a great feature that allows you and your teammates for the threads to move across the groups as needed, to make sure that all of the different types of requests never go unanswered, right? So maybe if somebody knows a little bit more about a certain product or something like that, you can easily set that to automatically route over to a group that maybe has a little bit more experience there. And the last bucket here is the custom auto replies. So a lot of really cool features within this, both from an upsell opportunity to opt-ins for BTM, as well as certain preferences that maybe a customer group has. So we'll go into a little bit more of those details, but as we kind of looked at these core features, we were really trying to put ourselves in your shoes and your customer's shoes to figure out how to make it easier and how to make it a better experience. And so we feel like these are some really great options to do that. So the next slide, we're going to go into kind of the more of how, right? How does all of this work? And some of this may seem a little bit overly complicated, but I assure you it's very easy, right? It's a lot of if or statements that really all kind of start with a trigger, right? So it has to have something that happens, and that could be a new thread is received, or a thread is left unclaimed, or maybe it's inactive, or maybe it's closed. So it all kind of starts with a trigger, right? And then the condition, right? This is really where it needs to sit and decide on then kind of what play should they run specifically here. So as you can see here, this might be something to do with a contact within a company. Maybe you label the customer a VIP or something like that. or a certain channel, a group, as I mentioned earlier, the broadcast. So a lot of different conditions that we built in there for you guys to run these rules off of. And then what would automation be without an action, right? Now this is kind of taking the trigger, the condition, and then making it actionable to do something with it, whether that's sending a message, closing a thread, sending an opt-in request, a great way to get more people to opt into your BTM line. So a lot of kind of options here. And we will continue to be adding more options to this menu, but really some great opportunity and ones out of the gate for you guys to utilize to maximize your business. So that's kind of more about the how. And then next we're going to go into a specific use case, right? The first one that we have here is the auto closing of threads. So we talked about this a little bit more of the use cases, but we're going to go in a little bit more depth here, right? So in some cases, you may have large amounts of open threads or old threads, and sometimes they're just kind of sitting in there and they're cluttering up the inbox, which makes it difficult to find the ones that you need to go and address immediately. So with this great feature, as you can see there, you can easily say, when this happens, and then set it for however many days or hours or minutes, and then have it automatically close. So, this is a really great way to really kind of organize and keep everything clean, so that your team knows which ones are priority and which ones to go after immediately. So a simple but effective use case here. The next one is really having to do with more of the applications. So as we look at this, there's really two problems that we're addressing and solving for, right? Closing the old threads and then the inbox cleanup. So if we look at the closing of the old threads, this is for the users at your branch. They aren't closing out the threads perhaps when they leave for the day, right? Maybe they're in the warehouse picking some boxes, helping that team out, and they kind of leave their desk and forget to close anything out. And sometimes they definitely have messages that maybe come back in for another request or something like that. And unfortunately, these kind of go unanswered. And so this auto close for these older threads to kind of close that to make sure that that it's something they need to take care of immediately. Excuse me. And then the next one there, Mike, I'm going to go back to that one real quick. Thank you. Is the inbox cleanup, right? Mentioned this a little bit. But once again, old threads kind of cluttering up that inbox, making it really easy for them to clean out, find the new ones. So these triggers, one is inactivity, and the other one is thread left unclaimed. So two different triggers there, same condition, same action, in order to make the inbox much cleaner. Cool. All right. As we go to the next one, now we're talking about routing. So first one, closing. Now we're talking about routing. So as I mentioned, I gave the great story about Jimmy and Bobby. This is what we're talking about here. This is routing those threads to individual users or individual groups. And so as you can see here, this one is based off of a specific tag, right? So right there in the if statement, you can say if the contact label is, as you see here, a VIP, then you can route to the Portland group, right? So utilizing these great tags, you can really make it easy for these messages to go to individuals or to an entire group, especially if there is some sort of inactivity or that person steps away. This is a great way to make sure that that those messages are covered, and ultimately, hopefully, drive the right people to the right person that can help them. Whether that this is for a more technical aspect or somebody that they just like doing business with. So a great way to route these messages, to make it feel like a really personalized experience, especially for some of your VIPs that you may need to treat a little extra special. So as we look at the next one, we're going to look at a couple more triggers as well as some conditions and actions that will happen. So once again, we're talking about the user routing application. So 3 different applications here. One, the VIP routing. That's the one that I've talked about a couple times now. So that trigger is based on a new thread, having that contact have a specific label and a tag, and then boom, go straight to that user. The multi-step routing, this is one that I mentioned as well, is if that thread is left unclaimed, you can set that for minutes, hours, days, etc. Probably want to do minutes to make sure that customer is gotten back to as soon as possible. So that's a great one to be able to route to a different user or a group. And then escalation as well. So this one is a great way for perhaps managers or division heads to be able to jump in and see if something is inactive within that channel, and then boom, route it directly to somebody else too. So a lot of great ways to move these messages to the right people. And then Mike, I'm going to get you to go to the next one, where we talk about a little bit more around groups. So the last slide was really focused around getting the message to the right person. Now we're going to be looking at more of this from a group standpoint, right? So a couple different key options here. The first one is the BTM reply routing. So the problem that this one that really solves is, for instance, you're going to send a broadcast text message out, and then all of a sudden you get a response to that message, which is the beauty of the broadcast text message feature, is that two-way communication. You get that thread, and now using the conditions both on the contact label as well as the BTM group, you can have that automatically route directly to a group or a specific location that can get back to that message as soon as possible. So great way if you're running maybe a special promo or an event or something like that, that you can have these replies automatically go to the right group so people can respond to them and ultimately drive more business for you guys. So the next one, more around collections, right? So this one is new threads received, and then that using that contact label, perhaps on customers that are a little bit delinquent on payments, or have some sort of outstanding balance. This can be an easy one that instead of having to make some announcement over the intercom saying, "Hey, that person's on hold. You can't sell them anything." This is a great way to route it directly to the person that maybe can jump in there and say, "Hey, Jimmy, I know you want to order 10 more pieces of pipe, but we really need to get this balance taken care of before we do that." So great way to kind of pull that away from counter guy or girl, whoever it may be, and get that taken care of so everybody can kind of go on with their day. So a good use case there. And then the last one here is looking at really an opportunity to kind of have an overflow opportunity here. So maybe you have a couple different stores, and store A is slammed with messages, having a hard time keeping up. This one, we can set a trigger specifically for some of those threads that are left unclaimed, and then route those to a whole new group to make sure that these messages are taken care of right away. So some really awesome rules here on the group level to hopefully help your business. So the next one, now we're going to go into the replies, right? So we've talked about closes, we've talked about the replies. Now we're going to talk about one of my favorite features is the auto replies. This gives you the opportunity to personalize and manage some of those replies based on some of these conditions as well. And so, in this use case that you see here, this one is based on, once again, some sort of VIP tag. And this is where you can easily say, if this person has this tag, they send in a message. You can have a little bit more of a personalized message to them that says, hey, thank you. Your business is very important to us. We'll be with you in X time. But you can also create a message that maybe replies to somebody, maybe with a certain promo that you have going on at that time too. So another great way for an upsell opportunity is just to have that auto reply that maybe they text in about a certain inventory or something like that. You can easily create a message that says, hey, thank you for your inquiry here. Somebody will get back to you as soon as possible. Hey, did you also know that we're running a special on clamps this week? You can get 2-for-1 clamps. Or whatever the promo may be. So some really good ways to not only make your customers feel appreciated and excited, but also maybe a way to hopefully drive some more business around whether a promo that you have or a event or something like that you have coming up, maybe a hot dog day or a counter day. So we're constantly building more and more of these triggers. And really trying to think of as many ideas as we can to help you guys drive some more business around these auto sends. So the next one, show you guys a little bit how these will work based on the triggers and the conditions in a couple different use cases, right? So the first one here is around the users and claiming those messages. And so the problem that we were trying to solve there for you guys was different users have different service expectations, and we want to make sure that those are met, right? And so as soon as that thread is claimed, which is the trigger here, and that user is part of this list, you can automatically send them that message, and so that might be that, hey, this is claimed, and we'll get back to you with your inquiry in 30 seconds or whatever it may be. So great use case there. The next one here is the channel auto replies. So this is the one around the somewhat of the BTM and some of the other channels, whether that's web chat, email, fax, something like that. All of these different channels have different expectations. And so this can be thread received based on what channel it is, then sending them an automatic message to get back with them as well to make sure that they know that they are heard and you're on top of it. And then the last one, which I think I've talked about a handful of times here, is that VIP situation. So putting those VIPs into a list to make them feel as warm and fuzzy inside as possible. So they keep coming back to you over and over and over. So the last one that we're going to go into is something that's a little bit new. We've heard from a lot of our customers, specifically around broadcast text messaging. A lot of them have had a tremendous amount of success using that feature to drive more business for them. But something that they've asked for a little bit more help is around the opt-in, right? And seeing if we can make this a little bit more automated and help them with that. And so that's exactly what we've done here, right? So this is something that as soon as a thread is closed and dependent on the broadcast text message opt-in status, if they are not opted in, then boom, it will send them an opt-in request that might say, hey, thank you for your messages today. Are you looking for special access to promos and exclusive offers? Great. Send this message start to this to get opted in. So that's a great way to drive opt-ins for your broadcast text message opt-in list, and hopefully be able to continue to grow that list so that every time that you send out one of those messages, it has a huge impact on your business. So I know I ran through those fairly quickly, but we are here, as always, to help with any and all questions. Our support team is standing by and ready to help, as well as your CSMs. So if you guys have any other additional questions or want to get somebody on the line, as always, here's the QR code for you guys to scan and fill that out. And somebody will get back to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brooks. I know we're coming at about time here, and just want to thank both you and Julia for joining me today. Want to get to what I believe to be at least one of the questions that we have here. We do have a couple of questions about automated rules. Just want to make sure that we get to at least one of these. We do have someone asking questions on editing the auto replies that we discussed earlier. Julia, maybe this is something that we could have you speak on a little bit more as far as the any sort of editing capabilities with regards to the auto reply messages.
Yeah, for sure. So essentially, we had gotten the feedback from customers and also from our own just general management of accounts with our customers that it's kind of a pain that all group auto replies are the same no matter channel, and that if you want them to be special, you have to contact Prokeep support and we have to edit it for you. We'd also gotten feedback that, there are certain customers that just don't want an auto reply. They're like, we text you enough. I know you got it. Please stop sending me that automated message. It's just clogging up my phone and stuff like that. So we wanted to be able to create that flexibility for you, to have complete control over when your automated messages are sent and what they say. So it actually works hand in hand with our template feature that's been around forever. You can create your own auto reply template or use some of the ones that already exist in Prokeep and just have those created in templates. And then when you go to create the rule in rules, when you click the send message action, it'll let you select any of those templates. You can have it set by channel. You can have it set for a specific group. So if one group wants a special auto reply and the rest all want the same, they can do that. We do have a help desk article dedicated to just setting up auto replies. I'd be happy to share it out. My only other piece of advice is this is complementary to the existing auto reply functionality in Prokeep. So if you don't want to manage them at all and you don't want to think about it, you can just leave the current settings alone. Or if you would like to use the more custom ones, we ask that you turn off the current default auto replies. That way they can be controlled by rules and completely edited.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Julia. I'll end on just this last question here, just to get a couple more of these answered. Again, thank you so much for all your questions, y'all. Automated rules, can they be used for more than just one group, one account, one division? I think that's the gist of the question.
Yeah. So whether you're one loc or a 10,000 loc, there's a use for you. If you have multiple warehouses, but only one of them wants to use a rule, that's completely fine and dandy. The group condition is there for you to be able to say, just for this group, make this the rule. And if you yourself are just only one location or only one warehouse in Prokeep, that's perfectly fine. That's why we have other conditions, so you can choose whatever your filter is going to be for that. We actually tested rules originally with a one location, and they came back and said, our guys are great at closing threads, except John. John, for the life of him, cannot close his thread. Can I have a user condition so I can just have John's threads close after a day? I was like, yeah, for sure. Let's add a user condition for that. So yeah, any size customer can find use for the rules.
Love that. We're taking care of John, taking care of everyone else as well. Again, Julia, Brooks, thank you both so much for joining. Thank you to everyone for joining the webinar with us today. As I mentioned before, keep an eye out for the email with the recording of this webinar as well. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again so much for joining.